This is Lee Nelson. I'm on the board of Unity Spiritual Center, and today I'm here with Karen Starz, who's going to help us do some NVC training. So would you say a little bit about yourself, Karen?
Sure. And hello, good morning, Lee. Thanks
Good
for,
morning.
for waking up on this Saturday morning and supporting me in this connection. My name is Karen Starz. I am a trainer for nonviolent communication, certified through the Center for Nonviolent Communication. And it is my passion to use this process in the world. Sometimes you'll hear it called compassionate communication or collaborative communication. The name itself is somewhat problematic, and Marshall Rosenberg, the founder of this process, knew this, and yet he wanted to honor all of the nonviolent revolutions that have happened and the impact that they've had in the past, which is actually greater than violent revolutions. So he was honoring Gandhi, Martin Luther King, and those that came before us by keeping this name. So just wanted to say that in case sometimes it can turn people off and they'll say, well, I'm not violent. And it's really not about that. It's about how do we communicate to connect.
We're also going through, as we're getting a new building and doing some of these new things, we are going to reaffirm our mission and value statements, look over those. We're redoing our teams, our groups at church. We've got a lot of new things that we're creating and building, and so I that was one of the impetus for this. And my personal feeling on this is that we really need this training to be able to listen and speak to each other compassionately as we move through these processes of building and growing. So would you tell us a little bit about how these trainings might go, what they might look like?
Sure. First, I'll say, why? Why NVC or compassionate communication training during this time, and specifically for your community. For the times, we can all acknowledge that the world is having a struggle in how we communicate with one another and how we face issues in the world. So what I've found that being able to hear across differences is a basic foundational building block. And I call it listening transformatively. And that is a practice skill in our process of how to listen with empathy. And first, self-connect and give yourself empathy, but be in the space where you have the capacity to listen with empathy and to listen transformatively. So for the times, I find this a very important process. And for yourself, what I know of Unity Spiritual Center of Lansing is that you have a new building, you have new opportunities, you have a new space, and you're really longing to build communication practices to support a mission-centric church. And I've worked with many unities, many spiritual centers, from Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, to other forms of spirituality, Native American. And this has supported that kind of communication and connection for a growing community. So I think this is where it fits for you. So you had asked a moment ago about the format or the workshops, and we'll be offering 3 community workshops that everyone's invited to. The beauty with Zoom, and that's how we'll be doing it now until we get the green light from our states, is that people can come from anywhere, and they can come with any physical abilities. So those that are homebound or bedbound, they can come from different states if they're on vacation. I know summer's coming up, so you could pop in through your RV Wi-Fi. There's so many possibilities with the Zoom format. The different workshops that we'll focus on, the third one we haven't decided, And one of them will be specifically on empathy. How do we practice this skill of empathy, and what is not empathy? So we're really aware of the process that we're in. The other is self-care and self-empathy and self-connection. So vital to be able to do, no matter whether we're in a leadership position at a church or a business or a family member, just wherever we are, is how do we connect by concentrating first on what am I thinking, what am I telling myself, what's in my heart, what am I feeling, and what do I need. So this is a probably 3 or 4 hour workshop. We're yet to determine the time, and then the empathy one. Then there's many choices for the third. At some point, I'll be touching on power dynamics and our own personal power, what we carry into the room that maybe is invisible to others. So beyond how we look and how we fit in systems of power, what we carry for personal power as well.
And then when I saw your training and all the things that you offer, I was just blown away. It's like, this is really what we need. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I certainly
Yeah.
have a presence out there, and my passion is working with spiritual communities. I also do coaching, and I work with corporations and nonprofits, and do classes, but my passion really is working with spiritual communities. I've been a Unity member since 2004 in Seattle. My first minister was Reverend Richard Levy, who's now transitioned. And I just really think that everything is set up specifically with Unity and Buddhism. Everything's set up for this process to complement it in such a way that we can live our principles on a day-to-day basis. So this is Principle 5 in action. This is how do we take all this beautiful stuff we believe in and live it when we're driving in traffic, or we're experiencing COVID, or we're having to homeschool our children and teach from the kitchen. I mean, all of this is, it connects to how do we live our principles. So this process helps. It's a really good opportunity to reconnect with your community. I recently did one with another church out of Texas, and the community had been separated by COVID, like us all. And the feedback I got, one of the most exciting parts was being able to be in breakouts and reconnect or meet new people in their community.